morning, everybody. Welcome back. Buckle up, get ready. Let's get back into it. Another beautiful day in the neighborhood. We're going to start the show in about 2 minutes, about 120 seconds. We'll get everything kicked off. I want to give just a little bit of time so that if you feel inclined to do so, you like and in particular share today's show. All right, good morning to you. Today's show, I want to talk about a new bill coming from Kentucky. I think it has ramifications for the Ohio area and everywhere in the country, right? Because people are watching. And if passed, it will outlaw insulting a police officer in the state of Kentucky. The rationale being that there's people out there that provoke officers to violence. Yes, my friends, we're living in the last days of common sense. This is real. Also, there's a pop cultural debate going on in social media about Eddie Murphy versus Kevin Hart. And I find it to be downright disrespectful to one of those gentlemen, one of those creatives. I'll tell you who this morning. Plus a smattering of other topics. Some of these things may or may not be on your radar screen, but I want to do my best to keep you as informed as possible. This is the Nathan Ivey Show, the last honest place in Cincinnati media. And we'll get started in about 2 minutes. Don't go anywhere. There it is. There it is. So just so you know, if you ever come to Cincinnati and you fly into what's called CVG, the Cincinnati Airport, it's in Kentucky. That's right. And it's about maybe a 15-minute drive, depending on traffic, from CVG to Cincinnati. But in Kentucky, there is a new bill that's been sponsored that will make it a crime to insult a police officer, to say derogatory things to them or whatever. And this was sparked by the social unrest that we saw last year, post George Floyd. Oh, by the way, that trial is going on. I'll give you the details and the updates on that as well. Breonna Taylor. It's just remarkable to me that the response from at least one lawmaker in Kentucky to what we saw last year and the death of Breonna Taylor is to propose a bill that will outlaw insulting a police officer. Their rationale is that they feel as if it provokes violence. It's the world that we live in. We want to discuss it. Also, let's put this to bed this morning. Hey, what's up, TNT? What's up, Kevin? What's up, Carmelita? Let's put this to bed this morning. This whole idea that there's any kind of debate about who's the better comic or iconic comic between Kevin Hart and Eddie Murphy. I've seen this conversation pop up. It's really hit my radar screen the last 24 hours. I can't believe it. I think it's completely disrespectful to one of those gentlemen, and I'll tell you who in just a second. It's completely disrespectful. But as we wait, not constitutional. Hey, good morning to you, Daryl. We'll see. It's just amazing to me what has happened since last year. Last year was supposed to be like the summer of change, but is that really happening? Is that really happening? Trump got voted out of office, but Republicans all over the country, primarily at top of mind in Georgia, are now proposing and passing laws that will make it more difficult for Black voters to actually vote and for people that might vote for Democrats to actually vote. So who's really winning here? I see the other side out there organizing, man. The other side is out there. Yesterday, I was taking a walk through the Mount Adams area, right? I love the hills in Cincinnati. Cincinnati is a great place to walk in. It's a great place, especially if you're looking for different elevations, hills, things like that. Great. And Mount Adams is good for that. So I'm walking through Eden Park, then walked through Mount Adams yesterday. And speaking of the other side, I see this sign. It's a yard sign that was in somebody's house. The point I'm trying to make is about people being organized on the other side. Just like the other side of this debate about going back to 5 days and in-person learning. Man, listen, the people that are pro 5 days a week, they are out here organizing. Check this out. Can you see this? Hold on, let me look at the screen here to make sure. The autofocus should work. Hold on. Maybe. I might need more light. Can you see that? There it is. We are CPS, pro teachers, pro safety, pro 5 days. Now, you talk about contradicting. How is pro 5 days a week during a pandemic pro children, pro teachers? It's not. But look how the other side is out here organizing. I mean, for the people out here with common sense, what are we going to do? You know what I'm saying? For the folks out here with common sense, what are we going to do? Because the folks with no common sense seems to be organizing, they rallying, sponsoring bills. They got yard signs out here talking about 5 days a week is pro teacher. How the fuck is 5 days a week pro teacher during a pandemic? What is wrong with people? But this is just the world we live in. I got no problem with it. It's the democratic society. If that's how people want to organize and they want to get down, that's how they're going to get down. But I don't see I've seen no yard signs on the opposite side of that saying, hey, let's have a common sense approach. Not to say they're not out there. I'm just wondering, have you seen them? I'm telling you, these 5 days a week advocates, I've seen some of the media and Betsy Sunderman, girl power. She 40 something years old or 30 something years old, talking about some damn girl party. You mean lady power? Girl power? No, that's not girl power. That's old woman power. Stop it. And I've seen some of the things that are happening here in the media, and the other side is pushing back. The other sides are the people with no damn sense. Those of us with common sense, what are we going to do? Okay, that's all I'm saying here. Those of us with common sense, what are we going to do? That's it. That's all. When I saw this, I thought, my wife and I, we stopped like, wait a minute, did I read that? That doesn't make any sense. Please stop. The world is nuts. I'm telling you, everything is going haywire. We are living in the last days again, my friends. Let me throw a number up on the screen. If you want to give me a call this morning, you can use that number, 513-873-7134. If you like to share your thoughts this morning, I'm here to hear it. I want to hear it. That's a little bit about what's on my radar screen, but I want to talk to you about these things this morning, hopefully in more detail. This morning. If you want to share your thoughts or there's something on your mind that you think is pressing, let us know. And we will decide. But let me jump over to the cover story for today. And I want to talk about this bill and that would make it illegal, make it a crime to insult a police officer. And it's like, I mean, who thought this up? Who thinks this is a good idea? Raise your hand if you think this is a good idea for whatever reason. Okay. The bill would make it a Class B misdemeanor, punishable with a $250 fine and up to 90 days in prison if someone accosts, insults, taunts, or challenges a law enforcement official. Well, I mean, I see people that haven't done any of that getting slammed on their face. Like this morning, I watched, it was a young black girl. She was a minor. And she got slammed on her face by a police officer back in 2017. She got slammed on her face while her hands were cuffed behind her back. She was in the police station, minor. She got picked up because she had a curfew violation. And she was out after curfew. And as she goes walking into, you can see it clear as day. And I'll tell you the details about how the case ended. Clear as day. She's walking into, the lockup facility. She must have been mouthing off. At some point, the officer reaches to take her scarf off of her head, and she flinches back. This grown man picks this little girl up and slams her directly on her face. I mean, she was motionless for a little while, and then there was a pool of blood around her face. So literally on her face. Who knows what the long-term effects will be? And the reason why he did it is because he said he was frustrated. Yeah, he got charged. He was actually convicted of assault, and we're still waiting to see what the judge is going to decide. His lawyers want him to get house arrest. The prosecutors say he should get 9 months in jail. I think he should get 9 months of jail. But just think about the arrogance and the attitude of an officer willing to do that in broad daylight in front of their peers. There were other officers that testified against that particular officer. He did it in front of everybody. When you see somebody that does something like that in front of everybody, you know what that tells me? They know that the environment is going to accept it. It's probably not the first time something like this has happened. So we live in a world like that. Why do we even need some? You got brothers and sisters getting locked up because of looking at police officers, right? Let alone saying something insulting. But whatever happened to good old-fashioned freedom of speech? The bill was sponsored by State Senator David Carroll, a retired cop. And again, if it passes, hold on one second here. If it passes, it would become a Class B misdemeanor, punishable with a $250 fine and up to 90 days in prison if someone accosts, insults, taunts, or challenges a law enforcement officer with offensive or derisive words or by gestures or other physical contact that would have a direct tendency to provoke a violent response from the perspective of a reasonable and prudent person. So basically in Kentucky, this is the response from this particular lawmaker down in Kentucky in a post Breonna Taylor world. He wants to outlaw flipping off a police officer because a reasonable person might get upset about that. So, well, then officers are reasonable people. I mean, this is a travesty. This is a complete slap in the face. A complete slap in the face. The bill also pushes back on the whole defund the police movement. And I know that people are still talking about that here in the city of Cincinnati. I'll give you the details. I mean, we can't get to the substance because people are too busy caught up with the politics. We can't get to the substance because people are too caught up with the damn politics. Again, playing games. You got members of city council playing games. It is what it is. I'll give you the details in just a second. But chew on it for just a minute and tell me what you think. Just chew on it. Is there any validity to that? That people shouldn't be provoking police officers? Because once you poke the bear, you get what you get, right? Again, you tell me 513-873-7134 if you like to share your thoughts this morning on this particular topic. Would you like to see something like this in your home state? If you live in Ohio, do you think this would be a good thing for the state of Ohio? Let me go ahead and answer my own question and tell you, in my opinion, absolutely no. And I hope it doesn't pass in Kentucky. The reason why is because lawmakers look at what other lawmakers are doing, and sometimes they'll poach ideas. Like, oh, that's a great idea. Let me lift a little bit of it here and bring it to where I live. We don't need that in the state of Ohio. We don't need it. Am I wrong here? Am I wrong? Tell me if I'm wrong. 513-873-7134. Completely disrespectful, Brian. It's completely disrespectful to the real issues that people have, with law enforcement. And I look at law enforcement like everybody else. I mean, they're humans. So they're subject to whatever humans do. They're not saints. They're not martyrs. They're not heroes per se. They're just human beings put in some cases, extraordinary situations. I get it. I understand it, but it is what it is. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Don writes, that bill is BS. Officers are expected to have thicker skin than everyday citizens. Hey, good morning to you, Don. I would think so. I would think it comes with the territory. That'd be my first thought. My first thought would be, wait a minute, you doing what now? They said what? Well, I got frustrated. But what I've seen is that people in authority are allowed to get frustrated, primarily with black folks, and then say, I'm sorry. Oops, my bad. Like it's okay to get frustrated and be unprofessional and lose your top and lose your shit when it comes to black people. And then, especially if you're a white person, and then you can come back and say, oops, I just had a bad day. I didn't have my coffee. I didn't sleep last night, right? All those things are acceptable when it comes to us. It's like black people are the guinea pigs that are used to test the boundaries of what's professional standards in some of these locales and some of these institutions. I'm telling you, I've experienced it myself. I've seen it myself. Not just police officers, but it just goes for people that have any kind of authority. And see, to me, authority only makes you more of who you really are. I don't like these Karens be having these blow ups. And then when it starts to cost them on their job, what's the first thing they do? They want to cry and go to the media and talk about how sorry they are. Well, you should have thought about that before you did it. But what do you think? 513-873-7134. Also, there is no debate about Kevin Hart and Eddie Murphy. Who the hell started this? It's downright disrespectful to Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy is an entertainment icon. I'm not saying he's perfect, but he's an icon. The man has given us hits after hits after hits after hits. Some of your favorite comedies are Eddie Murphy movies. Now, he's had a whole lot of misses, like the Clumps. I hated all the Clumps. I was not a Clump fan at all. Then he had to drag Janet Jackson into one of the movies as if that was going to sexy it up. I didn't like any of the Clump movies. But you can't deny that Eddie Murphy is an icon. Kevin Hart's just getting started out. He's just getting started. I can't think of any, like off the top of my head, real quick. Give me your favorite Kevin Hart movie, real quick. I can't think of any quick like Kevin Hart movies or even stand-ups that really really get me. Maybe early on, maybe his first stand-up. It's a different world, man. I know Kevin's doing big numbers, but the world is different. If Eddie Murphy was young in the game like Kevin is in a digital world where you got Netflix and YouTube and you got all these virtual tours and all these opportunities for comics, especially if you hit a big level, his numbers will be huge too. That's just disrespectful, man. Stop the disrespect this morning is what I'm here to say. Stop the disrespect. Some Kevin Hart or Eddie Murphy. One of them is an icon. The other is a super, very popular dude. Facebook's acting up again. I can see. I don't know, folks. Good morning to you. Can you do it over time? That's what really matters. That's what really is greatness. Consistency over a long time. The greatness, not just I had 2,000 yards in one season. That don't make you great. Good morning to you. What does Officer Tatum think about this? What happened to dude? He out like Donald Trump. What's up, Politically Petty? Good morning to you. What's up, Drop? What's up, Tracy? Good to see you. Good to see you. Good morning. Come on in. Good morning, Ray. Who is Kevin Hart's audience? That's a good question. I don't know who his audience is. Kevin writes, Kevin Hart stand-up is funny as hell. We took a vote. She lost. It has to make an executive decision, LMAO. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we all got different tastes. I'm just saying, you don't compare a newbie to an icon. Eddie Murphy is an icon. Eddie Murphy has given us some of the greatest entertainment comedic movies of times of our generation over time, whether that be animated, whether that be, being the lead in the lead role in various movies. I mean, we're talking about classics. I mean, I can just say Beverly Hills Cop. Just leave it right there. Period. We can leave it right there. We don't have to talk about trading places. We don't have to talk about these other super mega hits that we got from the creative genius that is Eddie Murphy. So please stop. Anybody that would bring that up and even compare that is downright disrespectful. And you let them know I told them. It's downright disrespectful. Hey, good morning to you, Danita. Jenny writes, totally agree. Totally agree, but don't shoot the messenger. I just shared the story. I didn't write it. Oh, you shared that? I couldn't remember who shared what, to be honest with you. I couldn't remember who shared what. I just saw it in multiple places. Don writes, don't act like Raw wasn't a stand-up classic. Tell him, Don. Raw was a stand-up classic. Kevin Hart was influenced by Eddie Murphy, not the other way around. Y'all is so disrespectful with that. Please stop the disrespect. She writes, like I said, I just shared it. Cruther writes, Vampire in Brooklyn. We don't even, if we went through the film, what's it called? The filmography, I think it's called, the list of films, it wouldn't even compare. It wouldn't, but I know how it is. People are prisoners of the moment. So, somebody's hot right now. So it's like they get all the attention. I get it. That's just the way it's supposed to go, but it is what it is. 513-873-7134. Oh man, there's more opinion pieces in the Inquirer about what's happening with Walnut Hills. I don't understand why it's so difficult. I really don't. I'll never understand it. It seems to be a very, very easy choice. But see, as Americans, we think, oh, go ahead, what's up? Brian and Sylvia Nelson. Okay. That's great. I think there's a Walnut Hills parents. I think I know them. I think they know my daughter. Speaking of Little Buddha, man, listen, yesterday we did something that is one of those benchmark moments in every parent-child relationship. And I had the great privilege of experiencing yesterday with my daughter. First, let me say this. My wife recently on her Facebook feed, she posted and I went back a little bit, but she posted a video of our daughter from 7 years ago. And she's in the back seat of the car and she's singing with my wife to Whitney Houston. But my daughter, typical to her personality, is all into it. Like she's all in and everything. I might play it for you this morning. It's the cutest thing in the world. So I'm watching that this morning, like earlier this morning, like 4:30 a.m. this morning. And I'm thinking about the great experience that my daughter and I have just yesterday, and I want to share it with you. It was one of those moments. So yesterday, I took my daughter out for the first time. She's 15 now. And what does every 15-year-old want? What does every 15-year-old want? A car, a license. They want to learn how to drive. My daughter is like a little bird in my ear. Chirp, 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 chirp. Take me to drive. Take me to drive, Daddy. Take me to drive, Daddy. We want to drive. When are we going to drive? Boy, I want to drive. Can't wait till I get to drive. I'm going to get a drive. Well, car. I'm going to get a car. Drive, car. That's all I hear from my daughter off and on, right? So I'm cool with it. I think very highly of her. I think she is going to be responsible. So I took her out yesterday for the first time to teach her how to drive. So we had that moment. She doesn't have her license yet. We went to basically a vacant lot and we drove around, and she actually didn't surprise me because I think very highly of her, but she did very well. She wasn't all herky jerky on the brake and the accelerator. She actually did a great job. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Anthony. Right. L's. They want license. They want a car. That's what little Buddha or medium Buddha wants. She gets on me when I call her little Buddha. She listens to the show from time to time. But it was just a great moment where I'm like looking at this person who I still remember her as being this little infant that I could carry in my right hand. Like she literally, I used to carry her around in one arm and she fit perfectly. And this is when she first came home. Now I'm looking at this 16-year-old who is 2.5 years, two years and a few months from being 18. I'm looking at her like, where did the time go? It's just quite amazing. But she did a spectacular job. She was super, super happy. And that's what parents do, right? That's what daddies do. And we had this wonderful experience between the two of us. And it's just amazing. She went from the back seat in the car seat to no car seat to now when her brother came and all of us are together now. Well, so now when we drive alone, she can get in the front seat. To now she's in the driver's seat. It's just amazing. I know some of you probably are like empty nesters and you've already experienced this, man, but this is wild. It's wild as hell to look at your children like, this is like a real human. Like, this is like a mini adult right here. And I'm looking forward to it. I love it. I love it. My wife was like, she should go to the driver's school. I'm like, what you mean driver's school? Daddy's her driver's school. Get out of here with that. I'm going to handle that work. Make sure she's good. Nobody's going to teach my daughter on how to be safe with a car better than I am. That's how I look at it. Yes, I love it. Anthony writes, I hate teaching kids how to drive. Makes me scared as hell. I can't say that's not that. We had one moment where I'm like, slow down. I'm like, brake. She's like, I got it, daddy. And what I liked about it is even though I was getting loud in her ear, she still kept it calm and controlled the vehicle. And we didn't hit a brick wall. But we had a good time. Pardon me. She didn't hit a brick wall. We was doing backwards and forward and all that kind of stuff. So the reverse and backing into it, it was great. And then seeing her little face light up as we did it, it made it even better. Family. Made it so much better. Let me ask you a question. Have you shared today's show? If the answer is no, my question is why not? It's a simple thing to do. Help your boy out. Let people know where we are and what we're doing. I think it's very, very important. So if you haven't done so, if you can, because you might not be in a place to, but if you can, please take a second to like and in particular share today's show on Facebook and wherever you might be listening. I really appreciate it in advance. It means everything. Yeah, that's good. I'm with that. Good morning to you. Let me see. Lemmy writes, good morning. Good to see you, Lemmy, as always. Kevin writes, going through the same, Nate. She has to go to driving school, though, Nate. It's the law now. Is that right? Yeah. She'll be going to driving school, though. Before she gets to driving school, she's going to know how to already drive. So driving school would just be sort of icing on the cake. I want to make sure that she gets it directly from me. That way I know she got it. So am I afraid? I mean, yeah, a little bit. Sure, because I don't have the control, right? I'm so used to being in the car and having the control. And then here's somebody who I used to change their diapers, and now you got my life. I've had her life in my hands for the entirety of our relationship. And now with this teaching her to drive thing, she now has my life in her hands. So yeah, that's some scary shit right there. It is. I think it's some very scary-ish. Y'all, she'll get a better insurance rate with driver's education or driving school. Is that right? Say no more. Save money. I like it. I'm about that life. Tiff writes, I think she has to take driver's ed to get her license before 18. Samantha's in the house. Good morning, Nathan and the Choppers. Sister Iris is in the house. She writes, good morning, great people. Kevin writes, same here, teaching her now. I ain't scared. I raised a great human so far. No worries. I mean, yeah, I am appropriately nervous. Like I just said, I mean, I've had her life in my hands as long as I've known her. Now she's got my life in her hands, and that's some scary ass shit. I ain't gonna lie to you. That can scare the bejesus out of anybody. I don't care who you are. That can scare the hell out of anybody. Simple as that. Hold on, let me double check something here. There we go. I think that's where I want to be. That's where I want to be. Let me see. Pop from the barbershop. What's up, Pop? He writes, rest in peace, Christopher Wallace. Oh, okay. R.I.P. to Biggie, huh? That seems appropriate. I'm here with that. I haven't watched that Netflix story, if that's what you're going to ask me. The Netflix show, I got a story to tell. I have not watched it. I have not watched it. I've heard great things about it, but I have not watched it. So I'm sure it's dope. Don't spoil it for me. I'll watch it later, and I'll check it out at my leisure. Let me see. Got my Creamalicious ice cream. Please go and get yours at Jungle Gyms in Meyer. Yeah, I reached out to Liz, Iris. I reached out to Liz. I want to bring her on the show and talk about it and help promote what she's doing. Liz Rogers, just wiped the dirt off, picked herself back up, starting brand new things after the controversy that was following her when she opened up Mahogany's on the Banks. I still support that, sister. Charles writes, no, insulting a police officer shouldn't be a crime. Officers insult the general public every day. Insults are just words. They'll get over it. Regular civilians have to get over it. Officers will be okay. Now, those are my thoughts. Exactly, Charles. If anybody in the world is supposed to have thick skin, it should be a police officer. But down in Kentucky, you got one state senator named David Carroll, who happens to be a retired police officer, who has proposed a bill that will outlaw insulting or taunting a police officer. So I guess what happens is just think about how potentially dangerous this is. Like, black people are already targeted. We know that. Generally speaking, it appears to me that black people already don't get the benefit of their doubt. You already are on thin ice, depending on the officer and that person's disposition on that particular time. And then you want to give them an extra legal rationale to lock somebody up. There's a YouTube channel called Audit the Audit. You ever seen it before? Yeah, it's dope. You should check it out. And basically what it is there are people out there, they call themselves auditors. So what they do is they go around and they basically just test the boundaries of the legal standards in which you can either photograph or videotape in certain public spaces. So they'll go out and research the law. And then they'll take a video camera straight into some of these sensitive areas to see what happens, right? And I saw one video in which the police officer is in his cruiser. He's driving down the street. There's a couple. It's a white couple. It's a man, a woman, and a child. They're actually pushing the child in a baby stroller. The police officer is driving down the street. There's no crime being committed whatsoever. The police officer waves. They don't wave back. In fact, the white male flips them off. What do you think that officer did in this video? Do you think he said, screw this whole bunch of assholes out here and just went on with his day? Or did he B, stop the cruiser and confront these people? Well, the answer is B. This officer stopped the cruiser. All of this was caught on body cam. And it all came out in court later. Stopped the cruiser, got out and confronted the guy and start asking this dude questions like, why'd you flip me off, dude? And I'm thinking, he flipped you off because that's how he felt. What more conversation is there? Long story short, and this is all caught on video, and as the story goes, the man was ultimately exonerated, but he was arrested. The officer lied. He lied on this man because he got in his feelings, called for backup. When the backup showed up, including his supervisor, he lied to his supervisor. How do I know? Because the whole interaction was caught on body cam. He lied and said the man said something threatening, and he went way beyond what the guy actually did. And it was all because the police officer, it was a white male police officer, was in his feelings because somebody flipped him off. So I just feel like, those kind of legal devices will just be used to further harass primarily black people, or when the officer's having a bad day. Oh, you taunted me. I taunted you. Meanwhile, in Cincinnati, police officers can use the N-word and keep their job. But in Kentucky, there's a bill right now. Again, this is not a law, it's just a bill. It may never come to fruition. But the fact is somebody is thinking like this is worthy of a little bit of a conversation, in my opinion. And I want to beg, and it begs the question, I mean, should insulting a police officer be a crime? It begs the question, should insulting a police officer be a crime? I want to remind you that coming up on the 19th is an opportunity for you to be at the swearing-in reception honoring Charlie Winburn. Now, Charlie Winburn is the first African-American Hamilton County treasurer. All are welcome. It's going to be on Friday, March 19th at Corinthian Baptist Church from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. at 1920 Tennessee Avenue. For more information, you can call 513-477-8098. A complimentary box lunch will be provided to all participants on the go. Masks are required. And if you'd like to be in attendance, there will be space available for you. Also, the good folks at renewcommunitychurch.org, they're kicking off something new in the calendar year 2021. They call it Focus 2021 Series. As a part of it, they're offering a free ebook that's available for download at this moment. You can download right now. And while you're going through the process, you can also get yourself signed up for 30 minutes of free coaching on business, life, spiritual matters with Charlie Winburn himself. There's just go to renewcommunitychurch.org. Also, my friends over at Pinnacle Protection Agency are seeking professional camera, DVR, and alarm installers. If you're interested, just send your resume to info@pinnacleprotectionagency.com or call 513-506-5010. Again, that's 506-5010 if you are interested. And this is an opportunity for folks. There is going to be some training involved, but they are looking for people that have installation training. So for example, let's say that you've got a work history of being maybe a cable installer. That could be a perfect fit for something new for you this morning. So give my friends over at Pinnacle Protection Agency a call at 506-5010, or you can send your resume to info@pinnacleprotectionagency.com this morning. Either way works. Good morning to you. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Let me see. Tiffany's in the house. Good to see you. Brian writes, is this the new feed? Lemmy writes, yes, love ice cream will support Liz. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Sometime, hopefully this week. She said she's going to double check and let me know. I just want to support. That's all. Anthony writes, Chris will start bad mouthing Liz's ice cream soon. He might. I wouldn't put it past him. To my Chris Smitherman. That's hilarious. Sister Iris writes, how can it do that? It's freedom of speech. I agree. I'm wondering the same thing. Kevin writes, appropriately nervous. That was funny as hell. Can't lie. Don't go anywhere. She can hit anything, and she's been practicing since last year. Might change when we hit traffic. To me, it just marked a milestone in my relationship as her father. Like, wow, this human is ready to start being an adult. Part of being an adult is having control over the ability to get you from A to B. Now, whether that be you got a car or you're working so you can pay for other means of transportation. But it just dawned on me like, damn, my little girl, she's still my little girl. 16, that's a little girl, right? To me. But she ain't little Buddha no more at all. Not one bit. And I love it. She's a great human. She is an absolutely great human. I'm proud to be her father. See, Iris writes, all city employees can use racial slurs. How wonderful to know. How wonderful to know that the people that we support with our tax dollars can call us the N-word and can use racial slurs. All because it's an effort to protect police officers and let them have the ability to use racial slurs. Whether it be black officers or white officers, I would say there's a difference. But I also think it's offensive. Like when you're on the job, there's a certain thing called professionalism. And whether you're a black officer or a white officer, you should bring that to the table. So I'm against usage of the N-word for any officer across the board. Although there's a difference between a white officer using it and a black officer using it. There is a difference. But I ain't with either one of them. I'm not with that. I'm paying you to disrespect me because you got in your feelings one day? Hell no. Kevin writes, if verbally assaulting an officer is a crime, physically assaulting a citizen should be a felony, one punishable by a lifetime ban from any law enforcement role, including flashlight cop. No, not flashlight cop. Not flashlight cop. Liz Rogers Mahogany's has risen again. Happy Women's Month to my dear friend. This is how you keep coming back. Keep dreaming. Yeah, I love it. I love it. All that ish. Every time I see anything about Liz Rogers, it comes up on my timeline on Facebook. I'm always happy because I'm happy for her, man. People in this city tried to ruin that sister. And I don't know why. I still don't understand why. It seemed like it was personal on some levels, but this is what passes as being, a good politician these days, talking ish about black-owned businesses. Some people, I guess, like that. Some people like it, I guess. Mental bondage is invisible violence. Formal physical slavery was ended in the United States. Mental slavery continues to this present day. The slavery affects the minds of all people, and in one way is worse than physical slavery alone. That is, the person who is in mental bondage will be self-contained. Not only will that person fail to challenge beliefs and patterns of thought which control him, he will defend and protect those beliefs and patterns of thought virtually with his last dying effort. Is that right? What's up, Pop from the barbershop? Is that right? Let me see here. Mental bondage. I don't know what that. Are you talking about like in a racial way? Are you saying that's like just for black people? I would say across the board, Pop, this is just my personal experience that the vast majority of people, myself included, would benefit from the services of mental health professionals on a regular basis. I think there's a real resource and power in having those kind of relationships with mental health professionals. Mental bondage. Are you saying racial, or are you talking about like people don't realize their potential because they're caught up on other stuff? I don't know. Pop writes, today is the anniversary of Big's murder, March 9th. Yeah, I mean, we pretty much know, or should I say there's people out there that claim to know who killed Big. And it's quite interesting that nobody was ever brought to trial on that kind of thing. You can be a big time star and get killed like that. There's a lot of people that point to Puffy. There's a lot of people that point to Puffy and they say like, well, after Tupac was killed, why would you go to LA? Why would you go to Cali? I don't know. We could talk about that as well. I'm down. Some people might say that Biggie was killed because it was politically motivated. I don't know if that's true or not. I have no idea. Tanika writes, listen, y'all, the food at Liz Rogers restaurants, Wing Champ, is amazing. I haven't been out there, but I want to go. I want to go and support. Most def. Take the family out there, let them smash some wings and support our black-owned businesses. I love to hear that. I love to hear that about Liz Rogers. I wish her nothing but the best, and I hope that she is even more successful. Hey, Kelly Prather's in the house. She writes, good morning, everyone. Hey, Kelly, so what's the update? Has the Board of Election made a decision on your I'll say case, for lack of a better term, but what's the latest on that? Will you be on the ballot, yes or no? Because you got these forums that are coming up. So the NAACP is doing a forum. There's a couple of forums I want to tell you about. So first is the NAACP forum. That's going to be on the 30th at 6:30 p.m. It's going to be a Cincinnati mayoral forum, and I will be your moderator. So I'm looking forward to that. Also on the 27th is going to be a forum as well, and this is going to be about city council. Let me pull up the flyer, so I can make sure that everybody knows when and where it is. It's going to be virtual, and they got a nice panel of people pulled together. And again, for that event, I will be your moderator as well. So check this out. I want to make sure you know about this and that this is on your radar screen. It's going to be on Saturday, March 27th from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. You can watch on Facebook. The 2021 Cincinnati election, what's at stake? Get engaged, be the change. Brought to you by Zeta Phi Beta Sorority, the Beta Zeta Zeta chapter here in Cincinnati, Ohio. Bill Woods, founder and president of Applied Information Resources. Ashley Young, VP of Policy and Strategic Initiatives of the Urban League. Desiree Futel, Vice President of Voter Services of the League of Women Voters, Cincinnati area. And yours truly I will be your moderator. Looking forward for that. That's going to be on the 27th. And that's going to cover like city council. So that's going to be on Saturday. And then, of course, on the 30th, which is a Tuesday, which will be 4 days later. 3 days later, you'll have the NAACP forum. And of course, that'll be live as well. And you can watch it on their Facebook page. So I'll keep promoting it and letting you know about it on a daily basis. And any opportunity to educate our community, I'm 100% about it. And I'm down for it. I love it. I'm here for it. So looking forward to both of those events coming up at the end of the month. Looking forward to it. Thank you for the invite. Looking forward to it. And if anybody's doing one on the school board, please hit me up. I love to moderate it. I want to be right there in the middle of it. Because I don't want to hear no lies. I don't want to hear no games. We're going to keep it real. We're going to be accountable, as I'll be with all of the community events. We're going to keep people accountable, keep people real, try to get a sense of who they are, who's going to be the best candidate. Looking forward to that. What's up, Greg? Good to see you. Hey, Glenn, good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, I mean, Liz is doing big things. She got Wing Chance popping off. I had a chance of speaking with her maybe about, it wasn't last year, it was a year before that. So it was like late 2019. And she was talking about all of her plans. I thought it was great. I'm here for it. The Nathan Ivey Show supports Black businesses. And in particular, we support local Black businesses. Okay, if you want to promote your Black business, as many have and are on this platform or within this network, with our network of influencers, then please hit me up. Hit me with a direct message. It does work. It does work. 513-873-7134. That is my number. Again, if you want to share your thoughts this morning, I'm here for it. Let me jump back in the audio on Spreaker and see what's popping over here. Ray writes, who is Kevin Hart's audience? I'm not sure. Pat's in the house. Good morning to you. Drop writes, it's called a plantation mentality. A runaway slave has to be mentally free before he leaves the plantation. Brother Drop, I mean, coming from you, that is so ironic, because there's a lot of folks that'll hear a lot of your flows and they'll wonder if you're not on the mental plantation. I just got to be real with you. I know you got thick skin. You can take it. When you control a man's thinking, you do not have to worry about his actions. You do not have to tell him to stand here or yonder. He will find his proper place and he will stay in it. You do not need to send him to the back door. He will go without being told. In fact, if there is no back door, he will cut one for his special benefit. His education makes it necessary. Okay. All right. Okay. I mean, I think I've read that before, heard that somewhere. So, I mean, I get it. But I think that there's some truth in there, obviously. I also think it's an oversimplification for what a lot of people are going through. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of people out there dealing with a whole lot of other issues that have nothing to do with the racial component whatsoever. It's really some stuff they're dealing with themselves. Let me see. Good morning. Good morning. How are you? Hey, Tiffany, good morning to you. How are you? Good morning. Good morning. Come on in, everybody. Please like and share the stream. I appreciate it. Means everything. If you missed it this morning, I'm asking you a simple question. I mean, do you think that it should be against the law to insult or to taunt a police officer? Because it might incite some violence, a violent reaction from an officer. I asked this in a very serious way with a straight face, even though it might seem unbelievable to circumstances, is because down in Kentucky, you know, our sister state down in Kentucky, I can damn near see Kentucky. I take that back. I can't damn near see Kentucky. Let's just say I can be in Kentucky in like 10 minutes, tops, just that quick. A lot of folks that come to Cincinnati area don't realize that Kentucky is that close to us. I've met many, many, many travelers from outside of Cincinnati who are amazed at just how close we are. And I'm like, well, what'd you think? It's just the Ohio River. It's not the Ohio Ocean. You can walk over the bridge in a minute. You can drive over it in about 15, 20 seconds. There it is. Not a big deal. But down in Kentucky, a state senator who happens to be a former police officer, a retired police officer, has introduced a bill that would make taunting or insulting a police officer a Class B misdemeanor. And I want to get your thoughts about that. Also, I want to know, where does all of this end? So we did all of this stuff last year. You had the social unrest. We've never seen anything like it before. Where is all of that energy going? Was that just something we did for last year and now, you know, on to the next one? I'm telling you, the other side, the conservative side, are out here and they are planning. They're planning and they're plotting. What in the hell? What do y'all think about the new men's fashion? I don't think much of it. That's not men's fashion. That's women's fashion. Huh? Eddie Murphy versus Kevin Hart. Fans are split on which comedian has the better filmography. I just feel like it must be a generational thing. Absolutely generational thing. Hey, what's up with you, Daryl? Yeah, I see this, man. This has been out for a minute. And, you know, this actually, when I saw this tape, this is what happens in too many of our school buildings. And I don't know who this young sister is, but I want to give this young sister props. Hold on one second. I want to play this video for you. Now, this video has been viral for some time. I saw it like maybe a month ago, but I've yet to really talk about it and share it. Today seems like a good time. Have you seen this video? This video, I'm going to share this video. This is a video to me as I look at it, and it makes me think about our school systems in general. And I wonder just how prevalent a situation like this really is. You know what I'm saying? Like, are children of color being protected in our schools? Now, this is an extreme example. I fully admit it, but I want to play this for you. Somebody posted this in the friends page not too long ago, and I want to play this for you. Check this out for me. You know, we love viral videos on the show. Check this out. Have you seen this video? You got to see this. Now, I want to give you a heads up, extreme language, extreme visuals. You're going to see violence, but I want you to watch this and tell me what you think.
I'm shaking.
Have y'all seen this? Have you seen this video? So in the video, you see what appears to be maybe she's a Muslim girl, or we'll say a girl of color, and she's being assaulted by, you know, the heavier set, you know, the white student, and she's just hitting her. And I mean, it looked like to me like she was hitting her hard, and I'm thinking, why isn't anybody stopping this? Did you see this? Like she was on top of her, just hitting her. And then when the young sister came in and started setting the record straight, I'll be honest with you, I loved it. Y'all can look at me any way you want to, but I'm like, this is a clear case of bullying and nobody is doing anything about it. And what got me about this video is that I'm thinking, where are the teachers? It's the lunchroom. Teachers and adults should be in the lunchroom. And you don't even see the teacher until the black girl comes in and starts putting that foot in that ass. Now, as soon as she started to watch this, where's the teacher? People standing around laughing. Look at this. Look at this. Nobody's doing nothing. Oh, she's feeling herself. Look, and she said she's going to go in for some more. Nobody's doing anything about it. You see this? Nobody's doing anything about it. Nobody's saying a word. You know, you got the other Muslim girl. She's kind of like, you could tell in her face that she ain't happy with it, but she probably afraid. No one's doing a thing about it. And I'm thinking, where's the teacher? The teacher doesn't come in until the black girl comes in and starts putting foot in anus. Watch. Again, tell me this. How would you feel if your daughter was the girl who was being bullied? How would you feel if your daughter was the girl who was doing the bullying? The girl you see right there with the blue jeans on and the black shirt. If that was your daughter and you're watching this, how would you feel? Also, if your daughter was the girl who comes in and starts putting foot to anus, if that was your daughter right there on the screen, like she's coming to bully the bully, and you find out about this afterward, you get a call from work saying, hey, there was an incident in school, we need you to come down, blah, 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 blah. I want to know how you would feel about all of these scenarios if that was your daughter. So I'm going to play this for you again, and you tell me what you think.
Stop it!
Gotta be quicker than that. Gotta be quicker than that. Gotta be quicker than that. Ooh, wee. She brought the whole can of whoop ass with that one. She brought the whole can. So how would you feel as a parent if your daughter was, I got 3 questions for you all on the same video. What if your daughter was the child that was being bullied, who was like down like this? What if that was your child? 2, what if your child was the bully? You're watching this video. You get a call from the assistant principal like, hey, we got a situation with your child. Can you come down here, right? And what would be your opinion if your daughter was the child that bullied the bullied? After watching that video, what do you think about the fact that the teacher, the white female teacher, she appeared to not say anything or to get involved until the black girl came in and started opening up a can of whoop-arse? All of a sudden, it's a problem. You guys got to stop. Who do you think should get the most severe discipline? Now, clearly, if there is a victim in this, it's the young girl who was sort of like doing this and she was getting beat on. And clearly, that's the victim in all of this. Do you think that the white girl who was the bully, the first bully, do you think that she's a victim? Tell me your thoughts on it. 513-873-7134. I'll give you my thoughts in a second, but I want to read your comments first. What do you think? What do you think? Good morning. Nat writes, I wonder what kind of punishment was handed out. Me too. I'm super curious to know who got what. I'm super curious to know, because to me, so let me back up. So if my daughter was the child who was being bullied, who was like, not defending herself, I would be extremely upset in a lot of different ways. I'd be extremely upset that the adults did not come in and do anything until the bully was being attacked. My question would be, how did this happen? And where was the response? I'll be honest with you, I'll be a little upset with my daughter too, because she ain't taught to do that. We ain't taking no L's like that. We not taking no L's. Whatever you got to do. Don't start nothing. Try to get away. And if you can't, do whatever you got to do. I mean, if you got to take a plate and throw it through her face, then that's what you got to do. We ain't playing no games. We ain't playing no games at all. That's what I teach her. Just telling you, that's real life. So I'd be upset with her for not defending herself, but I understand the whole bully scenario. Not everybody has that strength. I get it. If my daughter was the white girl, I'd be very disappointed in my daughter for being a bully. Very disappointed, to the point where my first question would be, what did this girl do to you? And if the answer doesn't come back satisfactory, and I still can't understand a scenario in which it would, but if she doesn't give me an answer that makes sense to me, then we got a real problem. I would have a real problem with my daughter bullying somebody like that. And if she was out here on I'm just going to bully on somebody because I think I can get away with it, with my own daughter, my attitude would be, you got what you deserved, period. If you want to be the bully, then you got to be ready for all of whatever comes to you. Like, if you're going to play that role, oh, you bullying people now, then you better watch your back. Watch your back. I don't want to hear no whining about how she came behind you and grabbed you by the hair. Oh, it is, but you the bully. You the big bad bully. You're supposed to be able to handle all comers. That's how I would look at it if it was my daughter. If my daughter was the white girl and she was the bully. That's what I'm saying right now. First, I want to know what happened. What made you do this? If that ain't satisfactory, and I can't imagine a scenario in which it would be from what I saw, you're going to keep going back and forth and people laughing. Oh, this how you make yourself feel better? Oh, this is what we doing out here? Oh, okay, cool. Well, then when sis came up behind you, you should have handled that work then, bully. That's how I would have approached it. That's how I was raised. Oh, you going to be this person? Then be that person with everybody then. Are you big and tough? Okay. Okay, cool. I ain't got no problem with it. But I don't want to hear no tears because she pulled your hair out your scalp. You should have defended yourself. And if my daughter was the black girl who came in, I would ask her why she did it. I would ask her why she decided to break the school rules. You know this is wrong. Why did you do this? And if my daughter came back and she told me, let's say she told me she was doing it because she was defending this girl. I'll be honest with you. I tell my daughter that might not be the best way to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? When you're in a school building, there's rules. Follow the rules. But if you was out here on some, I'm protecting, those that can't protect themselves type stuff, I can understand that. I think I can understand that. Like, I want to hear it all. It's got to make sense. You still gonna be subject to the rules now, because whatever your motivation is, the rule at the school is the rule at the school. You got to deal with that. And I don't hear no whining about it because you made that decision, right? It is what it is. But in terms of us personally, if she come to me and say, Dad, I just couldn't watch her do that. Everybody was laughing. I had to do something. And she thinks I can understand that. I can understand that. So between her and I, we may have no problem. Now with the school, you're going to have to deal with the consequences. That's a whole different thing that's out of daddy's control. But in terms of us personally, the way you're going to deal with it in the house, that'll be something different. That's me. What do you think? Lisa writes, black girl jumps in. Now they want Ish to stop. Nah, Becky, catch these hands. I feel the exact same way. I feel the exact same way. I have no sympathy for the white girl that was the bully. And she just happens to be white. If she was black and did the same thing, I feel the same exact way. I ain't got no sympathy for you. If sis pull your scalp out and stomp you down in the middle of the lunchroom, okay, it's what you wanted. Okay, you Rocky Balboa. You know what I'm saying? You smacking people and doing, okay, you tough. Well, that's what tough people get. Tough people get challenged. You got challenged. Simple as that. I ain't got no problem with it. Joy writes, I guarantee the sister ain't finished with her ass. Right. Tracy writes, my daughter, the white bully, would have to answer to me. My daughter, who stood up to the bully, would have no issues with me. Yeah, if that was my daughter's motivation, basically doing the job of the teenager, and that's what I would tell the principal, vice principal, whoever we sat down with. Like, if that was my daughter and she ran in and grabbed the student's hair, my question is, it's your fault. It's your fault. Because if you've been doing on your job, if you was on top of your job, then my daughter never would have had to jump inside. My daughter was doing your job, basically. And that's a damn shame. You know what I'm saying? And then you hear the teacher say, oh, stop. I'm saying those kind of things happen all the time in our schools. And I think they probably happen in CPS as well. All the time, no doubt about it. The teacher would have the biggest issue. Yeah, if I was involved in any of that, my issue is with the teacher. Where are you? Why weren't you there? Why were you so slow to respond? And I want to hear answers that make sense. Let me see. Danita writes, hold up, Nate. How do we leap to they didn't do anything until the black girl came in? You don't even know what the students saw or when. Lunchrooms don't have near enough supervisors for all those students. Don't matter. You're still responsible for all the students. Don't matter. I don't want to hear they don't have enough students. Well, then you need to reduce your class size. How do we leap to they didn't do anything till the black girl came in? Well, you're so right in the sense that we don't know what happened before the tape started rolling. We don't know that. But let me play this for you again. Here's what we do see. No teacher. Where's the teacher? Where's the teacher? No teacher. No teacher. Where's the teacher? Now the teacher comes in. So now the teacher comes in and she wants to break it up when the black girl gets the upper hand. The teacher was nowhere. Nowhere. Never came into the screen. You don't even hear her voice. So I don't know what the situation is. All I know is what I see. And what I see is that one student was allowed to beat on another student. My question is, if the black girl had not came in, How much longer would this have gone on? How much longer would this have gone on? You know, what's that like when white kids do things to black kids? Are they disciplined the same way that black kids are when they do things to white kids? I don't know. You have to tell me. I mean, through my experience, it depends. It depends on who the adults are. Like I said, in my daughter's short time or her time at CPS, we have had white administrators that when issues have arisen that appear to be biased or wrong, they jumped on that shit so hard, they took care of it. And I've had situations where you had black administrators that want to act like nothing has happened whatsoever. Again, it's like the luck of the draw. You never know. On one hand, you would say, okay, sure, you would think you're going to get more of a fair shot with a black person in leadership, but that ain't always true. It depends on the person. It depends on their personality. That's what I found. You know, we had a situation with our daughter when she was at her elementary school at Fairview, white teacher, and the white teacher just started bugging. She just started straight bugging. And for whatever reason, she was fixated on my daughter. Now, my daughter has a very strong constitution, right? She has a very strong sense of herself. And she was taught to be a critical thinker in her home. Okay. She was raised by her parents who to challenge, to know the difference between right and wrong. She knows the difference. And so she had an elementary school teacher that just started bugging. I can't remember all the details, but at some point she moved her desk in the classroom, didn't even tell us. When we finally got a chance to sit down with her, you know, and this is the worst thing you can ever do if you're a teacher or you work with people's children. The worst thing you can ever do is that when incidents arise, you don't inform the parent, you just eat it. And so what happens is it starts to build up. It starts to build up to the point where the teacher just explodes because in his or her mind, they've been dealing with this stuff all year. But from a parent's perspective, if you haven't contacted the parents, if you haven't reached out to the parents and say, hey, listen, I want to bring you in so we can be partners on this and deal with this, then you ain't doing your job. It is completely unfair to a child and to a parent, just like it is to an employee. It's unfair to a parent and a child to you sit down for parent-teacher conferences and you got a long list of grievances and you've never said anything, haven't sent an email, no notes whatsoever. And so now you've had it, but to the parent's hearing about it for the first time. Completely unfair. And to the credit, I forget her name, Hair something. To her credit, she handled that work. And she was serious about it. We was like, cool. You know, as a parent, you know things are going to happen. All you want to know is that the adults who are supervising your kid's life are going to do the right thing and be fair. That's all you're looking for. You ain't looking for nothing more. That's all you're looking for. You ain't looking for nothing more than that. Iris writes, what school is this? This is harmful to watch. I don't know what school it is, Iris. I do not know. Let me see if I can find it here. I do not know. I'm not sure where this comes from. Yeah, I'm not sure where this comes from exactly, but the video is inside the Friends page. You can check it out for yourself. Check it out for yourself. I'm reading that the Cincinnati Music Festival is going to be postponed for the second consecutive year, but then I also saw that J-Raj, shout out to J-Raj, man, a 1-year black-owned gas station. Just a whole bunch of tremendous black entrepreneurs in the Cincinnati area that all should be supported and applauded for what they're doing. But I saw on his Facebook page that he said that, or he posted something that implied, if not just put out there and just boldly stated, that the black taste is going to be back. And I thought that those two events went side by side, right? Like, Cincinnati Music Fest has a history here. Of course, it's been called different things. And then J. Raj and others came together and created this weekend of events to go along with it. How much of a draw would it be? That is the taste, the black taste of Cincinnati, if you don't have the Cincinnati Music Festival. I don't know. Like, part of the reason why people go down is to get the whole thing. But if they do the vibe events, they do the vibe events where they do like concerts on the square, that would definitely be a draw. And then here's the other thing about it. If you don't have the Cincinnati Music Festival, then it becomes a local attraction. Like, people come from all over the country, Chicago, Detroit, they come from Atlanta, they come from all over to come to Cincinnati for the Cincinnati Music Festival. There's probably more people at the Cincinnati Music Festival outside of Cincinnati than from Cincinnati, right? But if they don't have the Music Fest, and that's being canceled because of COVID, which I think is responsible, then it'll be probably a lot of Cincinnati folks that'll be there, which is cool too. Good morning to you. Susan writes, teach your children not to hit anybody, but they do not want to be hit. Let that be a part of their consideration. Oh, absolutely. That's what I teach our daughter. That's what we teach our daughter. I mean, that's what I was taught. You don't start nothing. Don't put your hands on nobody. Don't mess with nobody. Leave people alone. And then make sure that other people respect your boundaries as well. And that's it. Man, I even go so far as to tell my daughter not to play fight. She is not allowed to play fight. Now, I'm sure she's done it anyway. But play fighting typically turns into a problem. We don't even play fight. Don't even do that. Keep your hands to yourself at all times. That's what she's been taught. Hopefully it sticks. See here. I'm inside the chop shop again here. Drop Rise, there are no hopeless situations, only people who think hopelessly. I agree with that. Or should I say I like that? Tracy writes, I'm going to Meijer today to get some Liz Rogers ice cream. Oh, sure. Like I said, I'll reach out to Miss Rogers. Hopefully she'll come on and give us the whole story. For entrepreneurs out there, for creatives, that's what I take from other people. You know what I'm saying? I take energy from what I see other people doing. Like, I look at other people and the examples that they set, other creatives, and I'm like, oh, that's dope. And it just fuels me, right? Isn't that what you're supposed to do? So when I see a Liz Rogers or whoever it might be, doing something and it's a really good example, then I just take energy from it. I don't take the idea. I take energy from it. Like, oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? This is possible. Or, what other ways should we be thinking outside the box? You know what I'm saying? That's great for any entrepreneur to see the success of another entrepreneur. That's powerful. That's very, very powerful to me. Janice show contribution. Speaking of plantations, Creighton coach Greg McDermott was reinstated after about a 2-week suspension for telling his players, stay together, don't leave the plantation. Perhaps not verbatim, but the operative word is plantation. Is that right? Greg McDermott. Let me look that up. That's outside my. Look at you. And shoot, I like that. Then I didn't hear about that, or didn't pick up on it, should I say. Is that right? Hold on. Is that right? Yeah, some people can go too far. All I can take it is some people can go too far. Send me a link, man. I don't want to spend a lot of time looking for it. It's not really coming up, but send me a link. I'm going to check it out. Danita writes, let's ask the school board why there isn't enough supervision in the schools when they have 300 kids in the lunchroom at a time. Parents, do you know how this goes in your kid's school? Are you familiar with the procedures in your kid's school? I would bet that in your school, kids' high school, teachers aren't in the lunchroom because it is their lunchtime as well. They have 3 to 4 security and maybe an administrator passing in and out. Let's talk about the real issue, the safety of the students. Okay. I'm with that. See, Jenny writes, OMG, where is the black-owned gas station? I don't want to misspeak. Maybe somebody could know the exact address, but I know J. Raj owns it, and I see him posting stuff. Again, I think it's great. Jennifer writes, Winton and North Bend. Oh, okay. Yeah, right. I know exactly what that is. Winton, North Bend. I know exactly what that is, yeah. Oh, most deaf. You got to represent, man. You got to support. Most definitely. Support that brother. Big things. If you don't vote, if your vote didn't matter, why are Republicans fighting so hard to take your vote away? Barack Obama, exactly. Lil Keisha gave her the work she deserved. The teachers needs to be reprimanded, students expelled. Okay. So if you're the administrator and you have to give some kind of a punishment, do you give Keisha, that's the name we giving her, the same punishment as Lil Karen? I'm just coming up with names here. So you got Lil Karen and Keisha. I'm just keeping it with the K's. Do they get the same punishment? Because essentially they both did the same thing, right? They both hit another student in school. No matter what the reason is, it would be different if she was defending herself. That's what happened. I mean, if you went to high school, you probably saw somebody being bullied. That's how prevalent it is. Happens all the time, all the time. Miss D writes greetings. Good morning to you, Miss D. Good to see you. Cass writes, hey, choppers. Good morning to you, Cass. Okay, I just got the message from Liz. She says she can do tomorrow morning. So tomorrow morning, we'll talk with Liz Rogers and what's up, Ernest? And we'll get the heads up on everything. Here it is. Creighton reinstates coach Greg McDermott after his suspension for plantation comment. What the hell? Plantation? So that means you're the plantation owner? What the hell? Plantation? What in the hell? That is amazing to me. So he apologized. I'm reading it right now. I'm catching up. Thanks for bringing that to my attention. That is amazing. So that's how he looks at it? I would say suspended. He needs to go. I'm sorry. It's some things you can say that can lose your job. On any job, there are things that you can say that will lose you your job. This ain't no plantation. This is supposed to be a team. What? Oh my God. He went so far as to say on Twitter that he would have resigned if his players wanted. No, the players want him to stay because they got a relationship with him. And then, the starters, man, that's true. You made me a starter. I don't want you going nowhere. That's interesting. Very interesting. Look at the crazy world we live in. People doing all kind of things out here, saying all kind of crazy stuff. Shantae writes, Lil Karen, right, Lil Karen. James writes, Keisha gets an award. More students should be like this. Karen gets expelled. Bullying will not be accepted. Teacher on lunch duty. She gonna learn to watch them kids. I've done lunch duty before at a school that was a high school and a middle school and an elementary school. Okay. I've done lunch duty before. You can't. Lunch duty, if you're doing lunch duty right, you're going to be damn near exhausted when you leave lunch duty. Like, that's why I give teachers a lot of props, because that's an exhausting job. Like, if you're doing your job right during lunch duty, you're not sitting around talking with the other teachers about BS. That's not what you're doing. What you're doing is you're observing every single table and every single conversation that's happening. Come on in, buddy. How you doing, man?
Good.
Come here.
I'm going to school for today and tomorrow.
Okay. Let's look at your hair. We're going to have to get you together.
Mom moisturized it.
She moisturized it? Okay. Okay. Looking good. I'm going to coach you, get you together, though. Little boys. Come on, Mom moisturized it. You can't make this up, man. Brent writes, the Creighton coach was trying to encourage his team by saying that everyone needs to stay on the plantation. My guess, similar to not going off the reservation, play within the system. Yeah, but Brent, then why don't you just say play within the system? Like, my thing is, why is plantation in this white man's head, period? Like, there's some things you can say that betrays you. It gives us a window on who you really are and what you really think. That's one of them. Just say Hey guys, stick together. Whatever happened to the good old fashioned, let's stick together out there. How about this? And this is going to do you one even better than Brent. And Brent, I'm not in any way coming at you because I know you just sharing the information with me and I appreciate it. But how about this? How about you say, play as a team, right? Something old fashioned like that. Call me crazy, but I don't know. I think you got a whole lot of different options. I think you got a whole lot of options other than stay on the plantation. Nah, that's something that's in his heart and in his mind. If I was a coach, and it wouldn't matter who I was coaching, plantation would not even come into the conversation. That's like saying, I mean, it's so out of context that it's like him bringing up something else that was equally out of context, right? Plantation? He should have been fired. He should have been fired. But he's probably, friends with the administration, and I don't know what their record is. It looks like they're going to the Big East tournament, so that's going to trump everything else. But he should have been fired immediately. Hey, guys, we got to stay on the plantation. Huh? How does that work? It doesn't even work because black people didn't want to be on the plantation. It doesn't even make sense. Like, even as an analogy, it doesn't make sense. That was a window into his racist mindset. I'm going to put it like that. It's period, point blank. Nobody can tell me anything other than that. That was a window into his racist mindset. Plantation. Oh my God. Oh man. Susan writes, that's like Marshall's $1 million ninja, right? That's my $1 million ninja out there. Huh? Brent writes, no doubt he was wrong, just trying to get a context. Oh yeah, I understand. I understand completely, brother. Not coming at you. You didn't say it. Let me see. Drop rights to cash. You always have your hair on point. Is that right? Ernest writes, the highest 4 paid players in the NFL are black quarterbacks. Okay. How is that relevant? Joe Manchin's $11 minimum wage more popular than Biden's $15 among Democrats and Republicans. Joe Biden is a liar. What the hell? What is Drop talking about? All right, see y'all later. You going to medium Buddha? All right. Go right ahead. Keep them safe. What in the hell? Yup, people on WOW could not understand why plantation was a poor choice of words. Shaking my head. Wait a minute. You had people like broadcasters that were arguing that there was nothing wrong with what he said? Really? That's amazing to me. That is amazing to me. That is absolutely amazing to me. 513-873-7134. I want to hear your thoughts this morning. Dale writes, from his point of view, we did want to be on the plantation, right? Not only was it the wrong word to use, it was the wrong context. But if you think about it logically, it doesn't really make any sense. Here you are trying to motivate your team to play as a team and stay together. And you say, stay together like play as a plantation or stay together like a plantation. That doesn't make any sense. Them folks that want to be in a plantation, they want to be back at home. They want to do their own thing. They were forced to be on a plantation by slave owners who were trying to make a lot of money. That guy, if I was the administrator at Creighton, man, he would have had to explain himself. It would have had to make sense for us to continue doing business together because he couldn't just say to me, oh, I made a mistake. You don't get no points for that. You don't get no points for telling me something I already know. I know you made a mistake. I know you was wrong. I want to know why you did it. I'm trying to get to the bottom of your heart. I'm trying to figure out where you're coming from. I had a situation with my daughter at her current school with a black male teacher. Did some dumb shit, right? Listen, if I told you, you would be super upset, right? Just straight jumped out the window. Didn't context or anything. We finally get a chance to sit down with him and the white female administrator. There's a real problem there. This motherfucker thought that because he apologized that was over with. Like it was over with. No, I know you was wrong. You know what I'm saying? I know you was wrong. I'm trying to figure out where you're coming from. I'm trying to figure out where your heart is. I'm trying to figure out, is this going to be a long-term problem? You know what I'm saying? I don't give adults props for telling me something I already know. You know what I'm saying? Does an apology go a long way? Well, I mean, you should start there, but that's just a start. That doesn't exonerate you. Like, that doesn't mean all is well now and we cool. It just means, okay, you apologize. I acknowledge that. That's great. Now we can go to the next level. Now I'm willing to understand and hear your explanation. You know what I'm saying? As to what's going on. Amazing, man. Quite amazing. Absolutely amazing. Hey, Janice, good morning to you. We just had a call on the line. I think it was, well, just call me back. Call me back if you want to get on the show. 513-873-7134. Danita writes, when we visited Charleston, there were housing developments that had plantation in their name. Nah, I couldn't buy a house there. What? Me either. Rachel writes, goes to show how they truly view slavery. They really believed enslaved Africans wanted to be here and work for free. I love the way you put it, enslaved. I like that. I need to learn to make sure I say that, enslaved. You're right about that. Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy. I'm surprised that the media isn't still going hard on that story. It wasn't racially insensitive language. And see, that's the other thing. I hate it when, and primarily this is white people, I hate it when you see these examples of white folks. And in some cases, they might be in a position of influence or leadership or authority. They'll say or do something crazy, something that's completely racially offensive. And then they'll come back and say, well, I want to apologize if I hurt anybody. I hate that because I'm not hurt, sis. I'm not hurt. You just revealed to me who you are. There was a brother who was doing a news, he was a newscaster, right? And typically you'll see two people that like a morning show. You had a white female host, you had a black male host. They were doing the zoo baby segment. You know, everybody loves zoo babies. Enslaved animals, by the way. Everybody loves zoo babies. Oh, look at the cute little gorilla behind bars. Oh, look at the cute little rhinoceros behind bars. Oh, it's so cute. And so this woman, so they were showing the images on the screen. And when it came back to a close-up of the brother. And his co-host said something like, oh, he looks like you. Like the black man looks like a baby gorilla. This fool was like, yeah, it kind of does, and laughed it off. And then a day or two later, he came back. They had this big apology show. And I never forget that his host, who still has a job, by the way, she came out and said, I'm so upset. And I know I hurt people. And I was thinking, hurt people? No, sis, you ain't hurt nobody. You just revealed yourself to be a racist. That's what that is. You ain't hurt nobody. I hate it when they hide behind that. Well, if I hurt people, then I'm sorry. That's what he said, this Creighton coach. My insensitive language is not the language. It's what your usage of the language says about you and your heart and your mentality. That's the real issue, bro. But let's go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
What's going on, Nate? How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I'm doing excellent.
Hey, thank you. Coach Doug McDermott, you know, I follow a little bit of more about Creighton Blue Jay basketball because, you know, they play Xavier all the time. And what happened, Nate, is that they actually gave the decision, they gave it to the athletes instead of the adults making a decision, like you said, because you're thinking about a mentality and a mindset that would even have that come out of your mouth. But that's what happened then. And then, you know, the athletes, the players, they actually came out and supported the coach. So for whatever, you know, we can throw that into the whole equation. But that's how that particularly happened. He actually wanted to resign or quit. They were actually not going to suspend him until, you know, it went viral and the heat came out. But that's about this story. But let me say this, Nate. The reason why he has that mentality, and A-Ray is right down the Dow, how they don't understand how using the whole plantation analogy is insensitive to black people. Because when you think about it, Nate, When you have black conservatives playing a get off the plantation card for as long as we can remember, Nate, you rarely hear liberals or progressives talk about, Republicans get off the plantation. That's never been part of the political lexicon as far as Democrats are concerned. But that's always used, especially when you are black conservatives like Candace Owens, like Burgess, whatever his name, Meredith, or, all those fools that came out during the RNC, the ex-football player, and they all brought up the Democratic plantation. You never hear people use the analogy, oh, let's all stay in the oven together. Let's all stay on the Auschwitz, land together. But, there are a lot of people out there, and again, black conservatives, black not Democrat, Gilligan types that have always put that get off the plantation. And that's why people down, that's why people on their side normally feel comfortable saying this stuff. Nate, there's a great article, and I'm trying to find it. I think it was in either Salon.com or Daily Beast. And they talked about the Meghan Markle Harry interview with Oprah Winfrey. And they talked about when you look at it, and I don't know if you, read the tea leaves or seen what's happening the last couple of days, but conservatives have taken the side of defending the monarch, defending the institution. And the liberals are taking the side of, basically conservatives saying, well, why didn't you know that there was going to be racism? You should have known that off the giddy. Like, there's a certain level of racism that black people are expected to ingest and take and just deal with it and not speak out about it. But that's the tack that they're taking. So, yeah, this along with other things. I mean, these are the same people that didn't know there was something called hair discrimination, Nate. And I always made the argument. I was making it back 4 or 5 years ago when Gilligan's, like Jason Whitlock, were saying Colin Kaepernick had to cut his hair in order to interview for a fucking job where you wear a helmet. And these are the same people that can't explain to me why my afro might feel more threatening than whatever the hell Donald Trump got on top of his head. What makes that more culturally or socially more acceptable than my afro or my braids or my locks? You get where I'm coming from, Nate?
100%.
And then when I hold that mirror in front of them, that's why they hang up, Nate. That's why they put me on hold. That's why Drop don't want to debate with you about just simple shit. I mean, we're talking ABC type stuff. I haven't even gotten the MONOP, but when you hold that mirror in front of them, that's when you're like, damn, I do look ugly. Damn, I did used to be the guy, family values, and I supported the guy that grabbed him by the pee. I supported the guy that got 5 different kids, like 3 different baby mamas. Stuff that we never would have let Barack Obama and Michelle get away with. You know what? You're right, Glenn. We really did look bad on January 6th. Look like a bunch of freaking fools out there rushing the Capitol. Oh, when you think about it, you really do see that there's a double standard in policing, because had that been black folks, and I, readily admit deep down inside of my conservative MAGA heart that you do make a point there. But they don't want to hear that, Nate. Because like I said, we got 4 years worth of evidence against these clowns, Nate, and I'm going to use I'll be like Letitia James. Did you see what the sister did down in Georgia, the Georgia DA? Another sister, she got the most noted authority on racketeering to be an attorney and advisor on her side. He actually wrote the book on racketeering. These are what these sisters are doing. And they're saying how they talk to each other. Oh, and by the way, thank you again, black women out there. Look at these attorney generals out there, Nate. Look at these district attorneys out there, Nate. They out there doing the damn thing. I appreciate you taking my call, brother. I'm petty out.
Appreciate the call. That's brother Mason Mahler. I don't listen down the dial. I mean, I'm only 100% focused on what I'm doing and the people I work with and what they're doing in future plans. Every once in a while, I may jump into a stream here or there. It's very, very rare. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, I don't listen down the dial. When I'm in the car, I'm not listening to local talk radio. I'll just be honest with you. I'm typically listening. Well, I am, but I'm not listening to 700 LW. Typically, I'm not. And I'm not listening to my former employers. Typically, I mean, every once in a while I might turn a dial there, but typically I'm listening to some really relaxing music or something else. That's just me. So I get these conversations secondhand about what people are saying down the dial, but it is what it is. That's white male radio. And it's profitable for them. It's profitable. You know, they'll never call it that. They'll never say this is white male radio, but that's in fact, what it is. It's profitable. It works for them. You know, people in this market or several markets like it. So they're going to keep selling it to them. It is what it is. It is what it is. Good morning to you. Let me see. Greg writes, yeah, Mason has a point. Candace Owens always said, get off the Democratic plantation, quoting directly what she has said in numerous videos. Yeah, I get it. Hey, good morning, Jerome. Good to see you, Jerome. Janice writes, yes, and why even use the word plantation? In his ignorance, I believe he was thinking of all stay together. Yeah, but when I think of all stay together, I don't think about no damn plantation. I think about staying together. I think about team, right? Because it's called a basketball team. It's not called a basketball plantation, but it says something about his mentality. I'm telling you, sometimes people can talk so much and they can reveal things about themselves. And that's what that man did. Carmelita writes, are you really surprised? I'm not surprised. I'm not even surprised at the tactics. Oh, we're going to let the students decide. So we're going to let the students decide whether this man that disrespected you should be punished or not. See, on the surface, people think, oh, that's a good way of doing it. But all it really is a way for leadership to skirt away from the responsibility of making a decision. I wonder, had he made a comment that implied some kind of sensitivity to some other racial minority, would the leadership at Creighton University have made the same decision? Or would they have made a decision? Something tells me they would have said, you know what, this is why we're leadership. We're going to make the decision. It's just a way of going around doing what needs to be done, in my opinion. So, no, I'm not surprised at all, unfortunately. Not one bit. Janice writes, I too cannot listen down the dial. They are too offensive to my intelligence. Yeah, I've heard some. I'm not saying I never listen. I'm just saying it's very, very rare. I think the last time I listened to Jeff Pastor. He was doing an interview with maybe Mike Allen or something like that. And it was just, it was hard to listen to. It was really hard to listen to that kind of nonsense. So I understand what you mean by, insulting your intelligence. I get that 100%, 100%, believe me, 100%. I get it. Hey, listen, let me remind you that coming up on February the 19th, that is a Friday from 1 p.m. until 2 p.m., you have an opportunity. You are invited to the public swearing in of the first African-American Hamilton County Treasurer. That will be Charlie Winburn. It'll be taking place again on Friday, March the 19th from 1 p.m. until 2 p.m. over at Corinthian Baptist Church. They got a brand new facility. It looks great. Shout out to my church family over at Corinthian Baptist Church and KZ and his lovely wife. Wish them all the best. I do not currently, I don't have a home church, okay? But if I did, it would be Corinthian Baptist. I say that unabashedly. I am not embarrassed or shy to tell you that 100%. That'll be at 1920 Tennessee Avenue. And if you're looking for more information, you want to call ahead just to get some info, some details, you can call Zakiya Allen at 513-477-8098. Again, it's 513-477-8098. All right. All right, let's go back to the phones and say good morning. Hey, good morning, brother. Welcome.
Hey, good morning, Nate and the Choppers.
How are you, sir?
I'm hanging in there, my man. I want to touch on 3 of your topics today, real briefly.
Okay, go right ahead.
Okay, let's start off with the police and the speech issue. Only a state like Kentucky will come up with something that damn stupid. You know, I played police 28 years. I was called everything but a child of God in some cases. It went right over my head. If anything, I would hold a mirror to their face and say it to the mirror because you talk about yourself. But, it just goes to show you, man, this guy, he's a cop. He might have been called a few things in his career. Now he's a legislator, and he wants to go all against what they call the Constitution, right? Freedom of speech. So, let's see how Kentucky handle it. But Commonwealth states are a little bit different than other states. Don't get it twisted. Then I got to go to the little sister who protected the little sister. I hate to see the violence, but I understand. You know, if I've seen it right on my little screen here, the female white was pounding on a younger black girl. Not with the intensity that the sister put on her, but she definitely was hitting her and intimidating her. Did I see that correctly?
Yes, you did.
And then thank God for the sheepdog that was there. That was the sister who got up and brought the noise. Now, I agree with what you said, and I got to back Danita because I done worked in a lot of lunchrooms. Lunchrooms can be chaotic. But if this was going on and the teacher or the monitor didn't see that in the beginning, what the female white was doing, and didn't immediately step in, that's a problem. You know, it didn't look like that place was that big. But I'm going to simply say when I taught martial arts for decades, if you get in a fight, you need to win the fight. Once it gets physical, you know, it's something called force on force, and we call it superior violence. Violence is violence. And I just don't think that the white girl was prepared to deal with a girl her size or bigger and take that pounding that she got. So I don't know how the school's going to handle that, you know. And on the basketball issue, I don't agree with what the coach said, but what he was trying to say, we got to get back to work. In other words, we just lost a game. And, you know, I don't agree with the plantation word, but we understand plantation was hard work. Would you agree with that?
That's what they say.
Okay. So like I said, he could have said anything, but that was stupid. But in the context of the way his players were thinking, it was like when Bob Huggins made it to the Final Four and his guys got fatigued late in that game. You do remember that. And he said that the only thing I can do to make sure we don't get fatigued again is to work a lot harder in practice. So like I said, the guy from Creighton, you know, I think that's Ivy League or whatever. That's crazy. You know, Big East, you got to think about what you're saying. You know, it's that simple. So just, you know, keeping up with the topics, man. As usual, great topics. And just reading some of the comments of the choppers is outstanding. And, you know, I don't know what to say, man. I know you only touched on this a little bit, maybe today. But as far as this new administration goes, they ain't even 2 months old yet. So I don't know what people expect them to do in the blink of an eye. But prayerfully, they will make a lot of progress and make this country a little bit better for the common sense half. Because there's nothing you can do for that non-common sense portion. You know, it's their way or the highway. And I've been realizing that for many years, even before number 45. You know, so that's about it, brother. You know, keep up the good work. And we're going to set up an outdoor course here in a minute. I'll get with you. I want to make sure that if you're available, you come out with us, all right?
Oh, absolutely. I'm there. Let me know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And let all the choppers know that finding bullets is like finding diamonds. And the cost of bullets is like buying diamonds. So if you was one of those people who prepared for a crisis in the middle of a crisis, you're going to make it rain to get the tools that you need in case the crisis come to you. I stand by that.
All
so
right, brother.
Take it easy, brother.
Thanks for the call.
All right.
Yes, Brother Forte, Ride or Die Gun Training, LLC. Find him on Facebook. He led a couple of our outings. They do a great job. And I want to do more with that. Plus, Brother Forte, I got an idea I want to run past you too, man. I want to run straight past you. Good morning to everybody. How are you? Anthony Rice, think before you speak. Absolutely. Tracy Rice Forte with the truth. Danita Rice Forte, I detect no lies. Rack them. Anthony Rice, amen, brother. Tracy Rice, facts. Forte, the cost is insane. Oh, absolutely. I haven't checked lately on the cost of ammunition, but hold on. Last time we went out, he was nice enough to go out and get some that the people we bought from him if they needed it. But man, we had a great time. Some really good shooters out there. Man, we got divided into two groups. One was more advanced, the other was less advanced. And it was just interesting watching, you know, the skill level of different people out there with their firearms. I'm telling you, if you get a firearm, that's just the first step. You got to do training. You got to go out on the range, get comfortable, firing it from different positions. That's the one thing I liked about it. We were firing it from different positions, like on the move, close up, you know what I'm saying, where the weapon is like closer to your hip, like a hip fire type of thing. Running, then coming to a stop and then firing. We was doing all of that, man. And again, the more I did it, the more I realized much more I need to do it. The more I did it, the more I realized I need to do this more. You know what I'm saying? 513-873-7134. If you want to share your thoughts, his line is available. Good morning to you. Tracy writes, hollow points are damn near hard to find. Is that right? Is that right? Absolutely. You got to have training. Got to. Like, it just prepares you for the situation. Just knowing how the gun feels when it goes off. You know, knowing what to expect with the recoil. Knowing how to look down the sights. For the longest, man, I was looking the wrong way down the sights. And I had to get back on my Call of Duty and make sure I was looking and placing my sights where I needed to be. And then, you know, my accuracy went straight up. It got much better. Want to remind you this morning, there's an opportunity for my friends over at renewcommunitychurch.org. Again, that is their website, renewcommunitychurch.org. This is a part of their Focus 2021 series, and they are offering a free ebook you can download, 142 pages. And while you're doing it, you can also set up for 30 minutes of free coaching with Charlie Winburn. He'll coach you through anything you got going on in your life. Could be a business issue, could be a spiritual issue, could be a personal issue, could be something else, okay? And it's very, very simple. Just go to renewcommunitychurch.org and download the free ebook. And while you're there, just follow the prompts and register to get 30 minutes of free coaching, all right? Kick off 2021 by doing something new. Also, make sure you check out the folks over at Pinnacle Protection Agency. This morning, they are still looking for qualified individuals to join the team. They're looking for people who are looking to be installers. And that's what they do. They do camera, DVR, alarm systems, smart systems. Many of you may have seen some of those doorbell security systems. They do all of that. So that's the other thing. If you're looking for someone to install a security system for your office or your home or your studio or whatever you got going on, then give my friends over at Pinnacle Protection Agency a call this morning at 513-506-5010. I'm sure they will be more than willing to take that call if you want to do some business. At least inquire about it. Like, again, we're living in crazy times. Everyone should have a surveillance system in their home. Everyone. Even if you're a renter. I mean, don't think you have to be a home. Even if you're a renter and you want to get us a security system, there are ways to do it that are less obtrusive. There are ways to do it in which when you leave, you can take everything with you. Okay. I mean, technology is amazing. Technology is amazing. Make sure you secure yourself. Okay. Prevent situations from happening as much as possible. That's the best way to go. But again, primarily this morning, they're working with us because they want to put the word out. They're looking for installers. If you want to send a resume, you can do so to info@pinnacleprotectionagency.com. Again, that's info@pinnacleprotectionagency.com this morning. And again, if and when you give them a call, please let them know you heard about it on the Nathan Ivey Show. It means everything. Couple of events coming up. These are virtual events. So on the 27th, that's a Saturday, I will be your moderator for the 2021 Cincinnati election What's at Stake virtual event. This is going to be Facebook Live, and it's called Get Engaged, Be the Change, put together by the folks over at Zeta Phi Beta Sorority, Inc. That's the Beta Zeta Zeta chapter here in Cincinnati, Ohio. Props to them. They've got a wonderful list of panelists here. I will be your moderator, and we'll be giving you more information about the people that say they want to lead. That's coming up on the 27th. And then, of course, on the 30th, make sure that you check out the NAACP's virtual town hall. I thought that last year, they've been doing this since the pandemic. I thought that the last ones they did, they're just getting better and better. And more people are turning into it as a resource. More and more people are understanding that the virtual space, the digital space, the live space is just so valuable. And it's just so accessible for people to be at home. They can just plug into the virtual event on their phone or their device, and they can be a part of it without have to even physically being a part of it. I personally believe that even after COVID, okay, the virtual space has been elevated and will remain in an elevated space. It will remain a premium space. People will they will continue to do virtual events. Why? Well, a lot of reasons. Number one, it's cheaper. And then number two, I think it's more efficient. Like, how many events have you thought about going to, but you didn't because of just driving to it, or you just didn't feel like it for whatever reason, right? And then let me ask you this. Since COVID, how many events, virtual events, have you attended virtually? You just went to your phone like, oh, I didn't know this was happening. And you sit here and you're exposed to a wealth of information just from this. So I'm betting that the virtual space will remain in an elevated position moving forward. What does that mean? That means that you're going to see a lot of hybrid events where people are going to go back and doing things in the real world while also providing a live stream option. I think that's going to continue. That's just me personally. Okay, so this will be a live stream event on the 30th at 6:30 p.m. It'll be a mayoral primary candidate forum. I will be your moderator. I saw on the image that the NAACP is going to invite all of the people who are currently eligible to run for mayor. And I'm looking forward to it so we can get to the bottom of what's going on. I think there are 5 or 6 individuals. I've already interviewed 3 of them already and hope to interview all of the folks who are running for mayor very, very soon, definitely before the primary. So looking forward to that. Let me see. That's hilarious. Anthony Wright's wireless systems. That's right. You have wireless systems now, Anthony Wright. Man, they got systems. I mean, get the folks over at Pinnacle Protection Agency a call and tell them what you're looking for to see if it's something that they can accommodate you for. Because they have wireless systems now where, like, let's say you have a detached garage. You have a detached garage. The garage is not attached to your home. And you want to put a surveillance system inside and out and around it. Man, there's stuff you can get over the counter. You know, you can just go to a store and pick it up, let alone dealing with a professional service such as Pinnacle Protection Agency. They probably have more options, but just give them a call this morning and see, you know, what they have to offer and check it out. I'm all about it. That's my wife and daughter. Talking about some Vaughn. It's a TikTok thing, I guess. y'all think that's funny, huh? Okay. Yep. It's the world I live in. Privacy, what's that? You just doing a little show. That show don't matter. You know, I'm just talking with the people. That's it. Jerica writes, what happened with Kelly? They did me dirty, Prather. See there, I see some cynicism there, Jerica. That's our sister. I don't know. I know she popped in earlier. I'm not sure. What my wish is, what I'd like to see is I'd like to see Kelly Prather on the ballot. So that's what I personally would like to see for a lot of reasons I've shared with you already. I think it'd be good for the city. But I don't know. Glenn writes, I'm a huge King Von music fan. Brian writes, you ain't working right. I ain't doing nothing. Glenn writes, LOL, Nate put out the COD MP5 with the scope and silencer with the stipple grip tape with no stock for faster moving. What they know about the COD life, Nate, LOL. Man, I miss my Call of Duty friends, man. It's been some time. And I don't plan on getting on. I got some goals that I'm trying to reach, and I'll get to that. The gaming world will be there. I'll get back to that. Right now, I got some goals I got to take care of, and I don't want any free time I have is either projects or family. That's it, or working out. That's it. That's the only thing I got time for. I don't got time for nothing else right now. But Call of Duty is a lot of fun, man. Warzone, a lot of fun. Lot of fun, especially when you got people that you've been rocking with for years and years, you're cool with in a virtual sense. Man, I got people on my Xbox Live account that I've known for 20 years. My Xbox Live account is 20 year. I got a 20-year tag, literally. So when I say that I'm a gamer, it's in me. But everything in its time and in its place. Right now, I got other things going on. Charles writes, Jericho, you wild. Yeah, Jericho, and Jericho be the same one who be trying to check me. I be trying to, she be trying to check me. Kathy writes, Nate, you are Cincinnati's version of The View. If you are running for public office in Ohio, you got to come through. Listen, that'll be a great thing. That'll be a great thing for Cincinnati, because here with the choppers, we're going to get to the bottom of it. It's going to be fearless and it's going to be tearless. That's the way it needs to be. That's the way independent media needs to be. Okay. And just think about what we've done together already. We are having an impact. We definitely had 2 stories come to mind, and I'll put it out there. Number one, the Bruce Hoffbauer story. That story was broken on this show. We broke that story together. That's the involvement of that show in the election, in my opinion, had an impact in the election. I'm talking about the election for sheriff. I just couldn't let it go because I could see it was a problem for the people. And then, of course, the school board. We already know we had an impact in the school board election. And that's what independent media, the role that it should play, right? We want to have a positive impact in what's happening here in the city of Cincinnati. Always positive, 100%. Anthony writes, Halo. Yeah, I'm a Halo head. I know Halo Infinite's coming out sometime this year. And depending on what's going on, business-wise, I may pick it up and have some fun with it. It just depends. If I'm able to get to where I'm trying to get to, then maybe. But, that's how things go, man. When you hit different levels, it just means more work. It's like work, more work, and then more and more and more work. It's just the way the world is. But I did have a lot of fun with it over the years, though. Met a lot of good people, too. And met a whole lot of good people. Including my brothers and sisters. That's the way that we stay connected. I got a little sister right now, and she started her own gaming channel. Yeah, I'm trying to get her to do some esports. Esports is real big right now. And she does her own gaming channel, and she's super deep into it. She's into all kind of games. I love it. She don't have no children. She got her degrees. She's responsible. She pays her own bills. She's a gamer. So if she ain't working, she's somewhere with that headset on, talking, playing, doing her thing. It's a great thing to do. It's a great thing. I love it. Glenn writes, Jerica, one of ours. Oh, absolutely she is. No doubt about that. You already know. Drop writes, Mr. Ivy, what happened to net neutrality? I don't think it's part of Biden-Harris's administration. Well, what happened to net neutrality? Well, the next thing that we need to, because I keep my eyes on net neutrality. The next thing that we need, to focus on as it relates to net neutrality, and we should find out very, very soon, is who is Joe Biden going to appoint to be the chairman of the FCC? Okay. It's going to be a Democrat, no doubt about it. And if it's the person who I think it is, it's a white female. I can't pronounce her name and remember her name right now, but she is pro net neutrality. She's been on the FCC for about 5, 6, 7 years now, if not longer than that. She was appointed, I believe, by Barack Obama. She is pro net neutrality. She's spoken out against it. When Ajit Pai, who has resigned, stepped down, she took over as the interim chairman. So all indications is it's like Rosenworcel is her last name, Rosenworcel. And it looks like she's going to be the new chairman of the FCC. Now, when that happens, then the Democrats have the numbers and the power to reverse net neutrality the same way that the Republicans did to do away with net neutrality. So that's a big possibility. Since you brought it up, I read an article in, I think it was TheVerge.com. I read this article maybe yesterday, the day before that, about a man named Tim Wu, W-U. And he is going to join the White House of the Biden administration to work on technology and competition policy. He's a Columbia law professor, and he coined the term net neutrality, since you brought this up. So I would say, and again, we have to wait and see because it's a little early, but I would say that I feel a lot better today for the short term for net neutrality than I did before the election. Okay. I think that what you'll see this year is that Joe Biden is going to make his decisions about the FCC. You'll have 3 Democrats to 2 Republicans. They now have a majority. And I think they're going to reverse net neutrality. That's what I believe is going to happen. Okay. Joe Biden didn't talk a lot about net neutrality during the election. That's because he didn't talk to me. Had we talked with Joe Biden, then I definitely would have brought that up. In addition to all the other things, net neutrality should be a part of any Black agenda. Okay. I've been singing these praises and talking about this for years. Okay. I even hit the streets outside of, it was a Verizon store. It was freezing too. We was out in Kenwood. I just felt so compelled. I had to hit the streets and protest out there holding up signs for hours. It was super cold, but it was worth it to me. I do it again because people are not aware of what this issue is. If you are a Black creative, in particular, I'm talking to you. If you are a creative in general, you should be keeping your eyes on net neutrality. If you do anything on the internet, if in any way you do any business in any way on the internet, you should know about what's going on with that 100%. So to answer your question, Drop, that's what's the latest on net neutrality since you asked. I think that, and I hope that, Biden administration is going to move in the right direction because the Biden administration, Joe Biden was a part of the Obama administration that protected net neutrality. I remember Joe Biden back in the day talking about it. So we'll have to wait and see what Uncle Joe does. That's all I'm saying. Anthony writes, Black sister, she better get some of that minority sponsor esports money, Nate. Yeah, esports is big, man. I love the idea of esports. I do. Junior wants his COD Rocket League. Wifey and I just talking about this. There are tons of scholarships out there for gaming, fishing, bowling, etc. Support and nurture your kids and what they love, even if it's not a traditional sport. Oh, you're absolutely right. I mean, esports is just as legitimate as any other sports. You got people out there making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year playing video games. Now, they're not playing for fun. They're playing for as a job. And they get up every single day and play video games because the more you do anything, the better you get. You know what I'm saying? The more you do anything, the better you get. And so they have tournaments. You got multi-million-dollar purses, multi-million-dollar endorsements. It's funny, man. I mean, that's why I love the age that I am, and I wouldn't change anything. If I could be born at any time, I want to be born in the time I was. Because I got a chance to see this whole evolution of technology from Nintendo, from blowing in the cartridges, trying to make them work. And nobody could tell me that didn't work, by the way. To now you got multi-million-dollar esports contracts. It's amazing, man. See, Drop Rice, if net neutrality gets me back on Twitter, no, that's your own problem. Now, your problem with Twitter is that you keep violating Twitter's laws. Twitter's rules. And so just like your leader, Donald Trump, they had to sit him down. They sat you down too. You probably deserved it. Simple as that. I get it. Hey, listen, folks, it's 9:52 a.m. It's just a few minutes before the top of the hour, but those few minutes will be so precious to me. I got to make a move and leave just a little bit early. Thank you for your understanding in advance. I really appreciate it. Just want to remind you again before we roll out of here that the good folks over at the new renewcommunitychurch.org are doing the Focus 2021 series this year, kicking off things different for the calendar year 2021. As a part of it, they are offering you a free ebook, a free 142-page ebook that they hope will inspire you, to live your best life in the year 2021. Also, you can, as you download the free ebook, you can also register for 30 minutes of free coaching with Charlie Winburn, and he'll coach you on life issues, money issues, business issues, or even spiritual issues. Okay, so take advantage of it. And when you do, let me know what you think. I'm really, really curious. I've already downloaded and read through it myself so that I know what I'm talking about and can speak intelligently about, what we're offering here. But I want to know what you think about it. So download it and then hit me with a direct message and tell me your honest thoughts about it. Very, very curious. Okay. renewcommunitychurch.org. All right. Have an excellent rest of your day, family. I really appreciate you. Thank you for being here. As I said earlier, a quick move would be better for me. I've got some things going on. I'll be back with you tomorrow morning. We're scheduled to speak with Liz Rogers. I have a couple of other invitations out that may come through for tomorrow's show, so make sure you pay attention to it. Also, sometime this week, I'm going to do a late night Nate. And when I do the late night Nate, I'm going to tell you about something new that CDM is doing. Okay, that'll probably be tomorrow as well. I like to do it on Wednesdays. All right, so stick around, stay close, stay tuned into what we're doing here, okay? I really appreciate you. Have an excellent rest of your day. Until next time, I'm Nathan Ivy, and I'm out.